big scary Jeff and Shalia. We're gonna come and eat your children.
I'm not hiding anything. Like, I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
Jeff Devine is a cult leader, a narcissist, a psychopath.
You. My business depends on all of you.
I think he gets off on seeing them become his creation.
Some of them have started having gender-affirming surgeries.
Has a crime been committed? Is there about to be a crime committed?
No one forced me to change my gender.
Jeff never said that he was God.
No, we're not a cult.
Let's kind of fix your hair.
It gets wild.
I know, maybe like that looks nice. So you're gonna be filming us sitting down? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna film all that.
Yeah.
They call themselves Jeff and Shalia Devine, the founders of Twin Flames Universe. They've never agreed to a television interview until now.
Jeff, what do you think the public's perception of you is, and where are they wrong?
I think they think I'm not a nice person and that I hurt people. And it could not be further from the truth.
There was a reaction towards us, and it caught fire.
I mean, the words that have been used to describe you.
I don't try to consume the hate enough to know.
Narcissistic, coercive,
Yeah,
bully.
Not true.
Cult leader.
Yeah, not true.
And that you have destroyed people's lives.
Not true. Not true at all.
Twin Flames Universe is a spiritual movement with a seductive guarantee. Follow their program and you'll find eternal love.
Look at this. Look at this. Boom! We married. I'm married to my twin flame. I love it. This is so devilish. I know how to make them want you. Oh, and I'm gonna teach you how.
It's not just about making them want you. Jeff and Shalia preach that the path to your twin flame is paved with spiritual and financial riches. Follow them, and you can have a life just like theirs.
This is my pool, my slide. This is my house. This is the back of it. Here you may recognize the Porsche and good old Corvette. It's looking good. Don't be upset or jealous, because you're gonna find out how easy this is for you. You could have this too.
Twin Flames Universe is a multi-million-dollar for-profit company with hundreds of thousands of Facebook followers. It's almost entirely online. Their website showcases glowing testimonials from believers who claim to have found their true love and their true selves.
I manifested harmonious union with my one true love.
Rediscovered my true gender. Finally accepted myself as the divine masculine.
Some claim miraculous cures.
I have been symptom-free for years now.
I no longer have PTSD.
Others boast of manifesting big money.
My income has increased 3 times.
I got out of deep poverty and manifested very high-paying jobs.
So just what is a twin flame? Well, it's like a soulmate on steroids.
This person was designed for you by God, and you were designed for this person by God to be your eternal companion. And of course, they're your ultimate lover. We're talking mega romance here.
They teach that what's keeping you from your twin flame is inner trauma, that once you heal your blocks, you'll manifest your true love. There's a stable of followers who offer one-on-one coaching at a cost of $550 a month.
Today, we'd like to introduce to you and invite you to our Twin Flame School.
With Jeff and Shalia.
Group sessions called Online Ascension School cost $3,333 US.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another juicy life purpose class.
To master success, purpose, and wealth, there's the Life Purpose class for another $3,333. There are e-courses, a book, pre-recorded videos for sale, and if you want it all, the everything package, $8,888 US.
Your life's gonna change. I promise you. You're doing the work, you're having a real relationship, life's gonna change.
Of the hundreds of thousands of Facebook followers, more than 2,000 are students paying to heal their way to their dream life. One of them, Simmer Sekon, a Canadian nurse who owns a cosmetic clinic in Toronto.
I feel that seeing the coaches and the community being loving and accepting, supportive, and also just seeing that they themselves have a life which is their dream life. That's what I'm hoping for.
Finding your twin flame.
Yes, yes.
Simmer came across Twin Flames Universe online in 2023 in the grips of a painful divorce.
I booked a free consultation, had a good connection, and that was kind of my start of being part of the Twin Flame Universe community.
Once she healed from the divorce, Simmer switched gears and coaches. The new goal, finding her twin flame.
Once I was balanced, then my new coaches were more positive. Let's find our, ultimate lover.
Over the past year and a half, Simmer has spent more than $20,000. She hasn't yet found her twin flame, but insists it's money well spent.
I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. And then with my coach, very, very gradually over time, I actually started to feel my feelings. So I truly believe that I will manifest and attract my partner in a very peaceful, healthy way, hopefully, yes.
Simmer isn't alone in this interview. Every word is being monitored by the woman on the other end of Simmer's phone.
Rebecca?
Rebecca isn't part of the Twin Flames universe. She is their gatekeeper, hired by Jeff and Shalia.
To me, Simmer being able to switch coaches shows into, they're not a cult, because if you were in a cult, there's no way that would be allowed,
Rebecca is with a crisis management firm in the U.S. called Red Banyan. They do reputation repair to control the narrative and portray your business in a positive light in the press. Jeff and Shalia have hired them in the wake of a media firestorm, exposed first in 2020 by Vice and Vanity Fair, and then the subject of 2 docuseries in 2023, Escaping Twin Flames on Netflix and Desperately Seeking Soulmate on Amazon Prime. In late 2024, this email popped in my inbox. The subject line, "We're not a cult." The message, a denial of the allegations piling up against Jeff and Shalia, and an invitation for me to tell the real story. In a phone call with Jeff, Shalia, and the PR company, I made it clear we'd be digging into all of the allegations against them. They agreed with full access as the walls close in on Twin Flames Universe.
I'm gonna get a drink.
That Fiji there in the corner is mine.
In northern Michigan, where allegations of brainwashing, forced labor, and tax evasion have flooded into the IRS, the FBI, and local police.
Just let me do one more thing.
Okay.
With another crisis PR member in the wings, Jeff and Shalia say they want to set the record straight.
It's traumatizing to have the whole world bearing down on you, and you go online and there's hundreds and hundreds of hateful comments.
The PR company shared some of those hateful comments.
If I ever see you in Michigan, I will beat the bricks off you.
I can't wait to see you and your hippo of a wife go to jail.
You little tiny Corvette swipe. I hope you both get eaten by rabid dogs.
Tick, tick, tick. Your time is running out. I'm coming for you.
Why did you feel that now was the right time to share your story?
It was just outrage, outcry. Like, it just wasn't our time. It was the time of the other side to share what they wanted to share.
Yeah.
Why now?
Same. I mean, that's our answer. Yeah.
Coming up.
If you could give me a moment to collect myself. Thank you.
We're driving into the heart of the Twin Flames universe, on the outskirts of Traverse City, Michigan. This sprawling estate is more than just a mansion. It's a promise of everything that's possible if you follow the teachings of Jeff and Shalia Devine. For years, this house and the grounds have been a fixture in their online videos.
I gotta show you that waterfall, though. Oh, there's a little waterfall coming out of the spa. Nice little living room. We got $15,000 in crystals here.
To tell the story of what's happening behind this door, we first need to go back to 2014, just before Shalia met Jeff for the first time.
Oh my God. We're about to meet. I'm sitting in the car and I'm waiting and I'm so excited. Yeah, I got those butterflies happening.
It begins as a love story, one that has spawned a lucrative and controversial spiritual movement. A movement defectors call a cult, one that controls, coerces, and even convinces followers into changing genders.
We like to go to Tim Hortons.
She was born in Toronto, Megan Plant, and grew up a small-town girl outside North Bay, Ontario, before changing her name to Shalia.
How did we initially meet online, Shalia?
Well, it began in a little country called Canada.
Introduced virtually by a mutual friend, Shalia was deep into New Age spirituality. Jeff was a business school grad living in Hawaii, trying to develop a lifestyle and adventure business. Over the years, he changed his name to Ender, then Ionethos, then Shafira. For the first 4 months, they dated online.
She was cute on Facebook, and then she was really cute on Skype. And then in person, it was like, oh my God, I lost my shit.
But I'm like, the second time, I'm like, I love him. And like, when I just knew. I just knew.
In that first blush of new love, the couple set up this YouTube channel called Awakened Intimacy.
Thank you so much for joining us on our second video.
Those early videos were sweet and just so normal. Jeff and Shalia shared everyday moments of their twin flame love.
That's twin flame.
Showing up.
Kisses. All right, I love you too.
Yeah, I love you.
Fresh-faced and clean-cut, they were a totally relatable, sometimes goofy couple who looked madly in love.
We moved. Jeff is making his entrance like a princess. Hi.
They were broke, lived in a dingy apartment, drove an old beat-up car. But Jeff made it clear he wanted to be rich.
We're gonna be really wealthy. And I'm not saying that because I want to like make up for some childhood trauma or something. I'm saying that because a great deal of wealth is appropriate for me.
Their views exploded from hundreds to thousands to hundreds of thousands.
We got married.
We got married, everyone.
Twin Flames got married.
Twin Flames got married. What a surprise.
They wrote a book.
And we are authors of the book Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover.
In 2017, they created a business to teach others how to find their twin flame. Then they renamed themselves Jeff and Shalia Devine.
This is a really wonderful opportunity to meet other people who are pursuing the same dream as you, to be in their permanent harmonious union.
When I watched the video, that's when I thought, I'd like to try that. I'll try it for a month.
Canadian Angie Moggy lives on Manitoulin Island in Ontario's Lake Huron region. An administrative assistant for a First Nation reserve, Angie was deep inside the Twin Flames universe for more than 4 years. Angie says she was indoctrinated, sucked in at her most vulnerable.
I had been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and so I became very fascinated with spirituality. They seemed to be exactly what I was looking for.
The minute she signed up for a class, she felt it: love, acceptance, belonging.
I was so love-bombed when I first joined. Plus, I felt very close to Shalia because she was also Canadian.
Angie was trying to work through a strange, intense attraction she felt towards a work colleague who was half her age. She says Jeff and Shalia told her to go after him, claim him.
That was their overall teaching, is like, you have to be a honey badger.
What's a honey badger?
They're fearless. They're vicious.
If you know me, you know I am a honey badger.
Oh, the honey badgers are just crazy. Honey badger don't care. Honey badger don't give a shit. It just takes what it wants.
They just take what they want. Basically, like, no boundaries. So be a honey badger of love was like Jeff's. They even have t-shirts that say it.
Angie's so-called twin flame wanted nothing to do with her. Jeff and Shalia claimed they knew why. And shockingly, it was the same reason she got cancer. Here's Angie in an old video explaining it to other followers.
It was revealed to me that my biggest core block was that I wasn't claiming my feminine energy. I was rejecting my feminine energy so much that I actually manifested ovarian and uterine cancer. Shalia gave me like some really great advice to look at, feminine role models.
To heal her feminine block, Angie started wearing bright red lipstick and skirts. And she bombarded her so-called twin flame with emails, even followed Jeff and Shalia's suggestion to just show up at his house.
I absolutely poured my heart out and told him everything. He goes like, you have no idea how crazy all this sounds. Yeah, and told me like, not to contact him, not to ever talk about it again, or else he was going to charge me with harassment. And then he ended up like he blocked me.
Your twin flame, maybe they don't like you. Maybe they don't want anything, maybe they blocked you. Maybe they don't want anything to do with you. I'm gonna promise you, if you follow me, they are gonna fall madly in love with you. I pinky promise. Okay, but you got a pinky promise you're gonna follow me and not be afraid, all right? I sealed that with a kiss.
Coming up.
I said, well, how is this not a sex cult now if he's forcing partners?
This is the Porsche. It's a $100,000 Porsche. This just came yesterday. This is one of the finest Corvettes that you can possibly buy today. Most of this income comes directly from my wife and I, my twin flame and I, teaching others how to have beautiful, healthy, loving, romantic relationships.
There have been people who have had restraining orders placed against them because they're taught to keep going after their twin flame and not take no for an answer.
Victoria Bonilla in Virginia, just like Angie in Ontario, once dedicated her life to Twin Flames universe.
It was just people coming together to heal trauma. And then years later, it became what it is now. Nobody walks in and says, hey, is this a cult? I'd love to join.
At the core of the Twin Flames universe is a technique called the mirror exercise.
Learn in this short video how to heal your upsets by loving yourself.
The concept is that everything you want, wealth, love, happiness, is possible once you clear trauma or upsets.
Using the mirror exercise taught by Jeff and Shalia.
Everything that happens to you and every negative emotion you have is something that you created, and it's your job to heal. And if your twin flame doesn't love you, it's because you don't love yourself.
If you're the type of person that prefers not to take personal responsibility for your life...
Why are you on this channel?
And you're the one that has to resolve it in order to clear the block.
Victoria says the mirror exercise isn't about healing. It's about breaking people down in a never-ending cycle of self-blame, with more and more classes to buy to clear the blocks and heal the upsets.
And so it becomes a form of self-abuse and control. Any negative emotion, any negative encounter, now it's your fault.
Most students weren't seeing results, but it was definitely paying off for Jeff and Shalia.
Today, we just discovered that we're not just millionaires, we're multi-millionaires.
Their Instagram feed a non-stop highlight reel of luxury.
Lifestyle of the multi-millionaires, of the rich and famous.
Designer everything, the 5-bedroom mansion, high-end cars. All of this paid for by students desperate to heal their way to love. In 2018, Twin Flames Universe stepped out of the internet and into real life. There was a small meetup in New York.
The golden age has begun.
Jeff and Shalia introduced the concept of soul family, pairing up followers into spiritual family members. The next year, an even larger gathering in Canada.
We're in Toronto, Ontario, here for our very first Twin Flames Universe Ascension Workshop.
About 100 followers, including Angie and Victoria, went to the 4-day event.
This was the best weekend of my life, and we're so looking forward to the next one.
Jeff and Shalia were treated like spiritual rock stars.
Thank you, and take care.
Thank you, everyone.
They started calling themselves gurus. Former followers say they are grifters. The entire Twin Flames Universe business model is built like a pyramid. New students at the bottom, then students who have paid tens of thousands of dollars to become coaches. Above them, master coaches who have paid even more. At the very top, Jeff and Shalia. Students pay them thousands directly for online group meetings, and then hundreds a month to coaches for one-on-one counseling. Each coach is also expected to pay for sessions with other coaches. And all coaches have to give 50% of their earnings to Jeff and Shalia. Everyone in this pyramid is expected to work to bring new members in.
It just becomes your whole life.
It's not just sapping their money, it's also their time. When Victoria was a follower, there was an entire management structure, staffed almost exclusively by volunteer followers. Victoria held a slew of jobs, including head of security.
Did you ever get paid? Over the years in the roles that I had, I got paid $25.
While the public face of the community was all about love.
You. My business depends on all of you. And I want to make sure that all of you are doing your f***ing jobs.
Recorded meetings revealed Jeff berating followers for not volunteering enough of their time to build the business.
I need you to take on a job at Twin Flames Universe. If you want to dilly-dally, you're going to burn. And if you can't honestly uphold your position, get the f*** out of it, because we're going to bulldoze you over. So no more of this f***ery, of this, ballyhoo, this nonsense, this bananery.
Victoria says followers were so beaten down, they actually believed Jeff's rage was a sign of love.
He'll curse you out, he'll call you names, and then he'll say he's doing it out of love to help heal your ego and shock your system so that you can heal. He's telling you, this is good, I'm loving you through this.
And if they showed any resistance, they were told to do the mirror exercise and heal their disobedience.
As soon as you have any type of negative emotion, you have to use their mirror exercise to, quiet down any questioning, any skepticism. It is very high controlling because anything that you do that steps out of line of what they deem as appropriate is met with discipline or punishment.
And what does discipline or punishment look like in the Twin Flames universe?
It's usually a financial punishment. Most of the people that are in that group are coaches, and their primary financial income revolves around Twin Flames Universe. So you can be stripped of your ability to coach.
Who's going to get the new clients? The ones who work and produce the most value within our new system. Lazy Bones is one, no longer going to get clients funneled to them, and two, no longer going to hold a position which holds everyone else up.
Twin Flames Universe has evolved from a spiritual matchmaking group into an empire. They have a company that claims to heal PTSD and trauma, another called Divine Dish, which is a paid subscription for recipes, and bizarrely, Divine Gaming, a Minecraft-like video game that followers helped create.
Here, the heart of the war will be waged between the hero of the ages and Satan himself.
And then came the church, Jeff and Shalia's next step, building an online religion.
And welcome to our first ever Church of Union sermon.
The movement took a deeply religious turn. With Jeff and Shalia now spouting much more than just New Age philosophies.
Has Christ come again? He's got the beard and the hair. And could I be the Christ? I'm not hiding anything. Like, I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
God's been telling us, we're the second coming of the Christ.
The images of Jesus is the image of Jeff. That's the prophecy you've been looking for. I'm banging the Christ.
I feel like originally it was just a business model. He saw a way to make money. But I feel like as he started to see the type of control and power he had over people, I think he does believe that he is this, powerful Christ.
You're my student. You do not school me. If you think that you understand something better than me, by all means, bring it to the table. I invite you to challenge my spiritual mastery. I encourage you. I dare you. But I assure you, you probably don't. And if you don't want to bring it to the table, then you should shut the fuck up and listen.
Coming up.
I certainly wasn't prepared for the level of pressure that was brought in this interview.
You know I'm an investigative correspondent, right?
Homosexuality doesn't even really exist. If you're really two masculine energies having sex, you're just shaking hands because it's not your twin flame anyway.
Jeff and Shalia teach that every person is either 100% masculine or 100% feminine. There is no in-between, and that a twin flame union can only exist between a masculine and a feminine.
A gender, it's just an identity role, meaning it's not real. You can change it.
Initially, followers, who were mostly women, were chasing love outside the Twin Flames community, people not under the influence of Jeff and Shalia Divine.
We were all working hard. Nobody was any closer to their twin flame. So we're like, what's going on? It's not working.
Nobody was making any progress using their work. And so they had to come up with another idea.
Victoria and Angie say followers were then told they'd actually been chasing the wrong people, that through channeling sessions with God, it was revealed to Jeff that their twin flames were within their online community. And then they say he started pairing them up.
Some people are matched with complete strangers, people they'd never spoken to. There was a man, 100% gay, matched with a cisgendered woman, and had to work through that block.
If they were telling you this was a channeled message from Jeff and Shalia, this came straight from God and there's no questioning it. So I said, well, how is this not a sex cult now if he's forcing partners?
Remember, Jeff and Shalia's teachings dictate that a twin flame union can only exist between a divine masculine and a divine feminine. A second mass channeling from God involved 22 mostly straight women, including Angie in Ontario, and Victoria in Virginia. They were called to an online meeting with their coach, who delivered shocking news.
It was an immediate, no, this is not it. And I said, Angie's not my twin flame, I'm not a lesbian.
And they said, well, Angie's not a woman.
Angie, who had first been instructed to be more feminine to attract a different twin flame, says she was now told Victoria was her true love and that she needed to transition to a man. Experts are clear. Gender identity is not something someone else discovers for you.
I ended up having like a severe panic attack. I just like completely lost it. They wanted me to cut my hair. They wanted me to wear men's clothing. They wanted me to change my name. And it's like, can I work up to this? Like they were just so much pressure.
And if they said, no, I'm not?
Then they were kind of threatened. Like, why are you so triggered about this? Why is your immediate answer no? That's a block. They were encouraged to get coaching, to heal through this block, to see the truth that they were men.
Did no one say, like, this is crazy? He's telling us what gender we are.
There were a couple women who just straight up left from that moment. They said, I'm not a man, I'm not doing this. And they left. And then some of them stayed and are still in there.
Some of them stayed and didn't just adopt masculine names and clothing, but took it further.
Yes. Some of them started taking testosterone. Some of them have started having gender-affirming surgeries and are living as men.
Angie says these two women were also told they were twin flames and that one was masculine.
We just happened to have a group coaching that night. She came in crying. She was like hard crying.
And then Angie says after coaching sessions with Jeff, she started identifying as a man with a new name, Gabe.
I don't know what Jeff said, but anytime that someone has to be coerced into like making like life-altering decisions, body-altering decisions, it's dangerous.
I want to show you a post that Gabe put up just 1 month later. He talks about how he didn't want to become a man, that he was working through his blocks and misconceptions. Gabe writes about Jeff giving him a crash course in living life as a man, encouraging him to wear men's clothing, trim his fingernails, smoke a cigar, and do outdoor maintenance projects at Jeff's home. Gabe and Brianna also posted a video on their website.
We both thought we were women, and we became friends.
Yeah, just came together first as friends, up until the point where it was revealed that I was the divine masculine. And
that we're twin flames.
And that we were twin flames. Yeah.
Gabe is still in the Twin Flames universe. He insists no one pressured or coerced him into changing genders.
I know that they didn't have a choice. I was part of this gender conversion program. Like, I know that these people are being pushed.
Keely Griffin is the highest ranking follower to defect.
You had to tell people, hey, God through Jeff is telling you that you're actually not a woman, you're a man. How did they take that?
Horribly. I mean, the look in their eyes, like, is haunting. Anytime that someone would resist, we would have to report back and be like, oh, this person didn't want to accept that they're a man. Jeff and Shalia would then mark them on a list of people who needed to be watched and continually forced to accept. I did not want to do what I did, but I was still under the belief that that Jeff and Shalia were doing this for some good purpose, for love. I don't believe that anymore, and I regret what I did.
A former volunteer CEO and coach, Keely is now a whistleblower, intent on setting fire to the Twin Flames universe and putting a stop to Shalia and Jeff Devine.
He has a very sick mind and has some sort of strange, sick desire to see people do whatever he tells them to do. I think he gets off on seeing them become his creation.
Keely lives in the United States. She doesn't want us to reveal exactly where.
Yeah, I don't want them to know where I live because I don't trust them at all with that information.
Keely joined TFU in 2018 and rose through the ranks into Jeff and Shalia's inner circle. She was the first student to be declared in harmonious union with her twin flame.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Good.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here today.
They needed another couple to prove that what they were teaching was real.
How's your relationship going today, oh married couple?
It's good.
Good.
Yeah. It's getting better and better.
In a period of just 3 months, Keely says she was pressured to move across the country to live with her twin flame.
Can you two please stand up for one more round of applause for the two of you? Please stand.
My role was to bring people in and feed them basically to like a monster. I was used as bait to funnel more and more people in to pay Jeff and Shalia.
What's that like for you to say and to know?
It makes me hate myself. Yeah, I feel really bad.
Jeff and Shalia had a message for those who were struggling with their new pairings and their new genders. Disobeying them was disobeying God.
So when God tells you something, you need to respect it. If he says that's your twin flame, respect it. If he says you are this, respect it. And sometimes it's going to be really, really, really hard. But if you don't, then you're a coward.
And this is so that you understand that your choice has been out of order, so you can make a new choice.
You can respect God's word, or you can throw a tantrum and be a little jerk, be an immature child, and then you're gonna get spanked by the universe. Until you take the position of a completely obedient child, you're not gonna be happy.
They call it the all-seeing eye for a reason. You cannot escape God's gaze. Why would you want to?
Coercive control is very real, and it's done over time.
Your thoughts are controlled. You can't feel anger. You can't feel sadness. You can't be upset. So you're just like this zombie, like a walking shell of who you really are.
And it doesn't happen overnight. You don't walk into a door and it's this full wackadoodle story. It's like the frog in the pot. You turn it 1 degree at a time, and then suddenly you're boiling.
Coming up.
How many of your followers have transitioned?
In the beginning, there were quite a few. And that's, many of them.
Off we go. Go, horsey, go!
Just a couple of parents out playing with their toddler in the snow. A picture-perfect scene of domesticity, Jeff and Shalia and their 2-year-old daughter, Grace. We were invited inside their 7,000-square-foot mansion, decked out with a 3-car garage, sporting a Mercedes SUV, Porsche Cayenne, and Jeff's prized possession, his Corvette.
We had a good time outside.
And fun on the sled.
Yeah.
How's my baby?
Yeah.
It's a head-spinning contrast to the outrageous online personas of Jeff and Shalia Devine.
I just want to make everyone aware I'm looking and feeling very tired.
What?
I said I'm looking and feeling very tired.
Okay.
A follower who takes care of Grace hangs out in the background.
Maybe if you move your sweater and then you can come back after I read her story.
Okay.
It looks like I'm just sitting. In reality, I'm
managing lots of things, I'm feeling lots of things. I feel like a man's job, you know, at least for me, is to support my wife so she can support our child. And Grace comes to me and we interact when she feels fit. Hey, Miss Christina. Charlie pottied on the carpet here. Can you help us clean this up?
Jeff and Shalia say no one else lives with them in the house. That wasn't always the case. Select students were invited to live with them as part of something called spiritual boot camp.
Here's the team, boot camp team. What's up?
The promise was you're gonna heal a lot because you're gonna be really close to Jeff and Shalia. They're the guru, they're like the master Christ, the master healers.
Keely Griffin was a CEO in the Twin Flames universe. Before she left, she compiled evidence, videos, and screen grabs of the way students were treated in the home. They were given a 14-page manual, not with spiritual teachings, but meticulous instructions on how to care for their dog and how to keep their house clean. Students had to waive their rights as tenants and sign this NDA with a $10,000 fine for breaking it.
I tried to capture some of the conversations just to show like how much control he has over these people and how horribly he treats them.
When you do my laundry, the white pants should be washed separately. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you. Dinner is served.
Chicken was tough for lunch. Steak is overcooked and tough. Waffles were underbaked.
Thank you for letting us know. We will improve.
They're doing everything for Jeff and Shalia, but they'll never be able to do it correctly. Like everything is a spiritual lesson, but really it's just an opportunity for Jeff to berate them and make them feel like nothing.
In the group chat, Shalia, called Amma or Mother, launches a text tirade about clumsy cleaning before 6:30 in the morning.
Do your inner work or go back to mommy's shitty trash hole.
Can't say a nice word to you guys since you always relapse.
This is why you don't get treated with kindness and appreciation. You make people pity you. This is what you feed off. Pity. How sad.
That's gross, TBH.
When the boot camp student apologizes, Jeff texts back.
Groveling and being afraid of me don't make me respect you.
The student texts,
I will take responsibility for my mistakes and learn.
They were essentially servants.
Yeah, I think that's a nicer word for what I believe they really are. I think they were slaves.
Jeff and Shalia say those allegations are knowingly absurd, baseless falsehoods, and extreme misrepresentations. The families of some of those living in the home started calling local and state police. We obtained this police welfare check involving a follower named Fedra. In this recorded meeting, Jeff laughs about it with a high-ranking TFU member named Chrissy.
Hi, officers. You know, can I help you? And they're like, is Phaedra here? And they're like, is she okay?
Oh, stop it.
She comes out in her apron and like talks to the cops. And the only thing I hear is the cops saying, okay, well, make sure you call your mom. And she's like, okay, officers. Angry-ass cousin called the cops on us.
In fact, there have been numerous calls to police, tips coming in about labor trafficking and brainwashing. Police released to us an audio recording of another visit in 2020.
And we've been getting calls kind of nonstop for the last 2 weeks about this.
There might be labor trafficking in the way that you get people to do volunteer work.
People are claiming that you brainwash them.
Okay. How can I brainwash someone to do something against their will?
Is there a crime? Has a crime been committed? Is there about to be a crime committed?
Mike Borkovich is the sheriff for Leelanau County, Michigan.
Of course, your immediate concern is Jim Jones in Guyana and David Koresh. And you start looking around at different people and different cults.
Have you found any evidence of any wrongdoing, any crime?
We haven't found any evidence of any wrongdoing or crime.
The detectives showed up at my door to investigate me, and they were breathing down my throat to try to find out if, I was some psycho cult leader brainwashing people. Big scary Jeff and Shalia. We're gonna come and eat your children.
Keeley also has documents about something called the Golden Parent Initiative.
Jeff wants to control people. He likes to have every aspect of their lives controlled.
In this post, Shalia invites couples to birth so-called golden children. They would grow up to be paired with other children from within the community. Keeley says those who couldn't physically get pregnant were told they could use a sperm donor who had to be approved by Jeff. Former members believe it was an attempt to breed a new generation of followers.
Today we're going to talk about how to survive a twin flame cult.
In the wake of the media frenzy and the police visits, Jeff posted this strangely edited video online.
What is a cult? A cult is like where an organization is systematically sapping you of your energy for its own insane ideas. And if you're in a twin flame cult, they're going to want your money. That's obvious. It's kind of hard to get into a cult on the internet, isn't it? How are you gonna drink the poison if it's on the internet? Like, don't you have to be a part of a community that all lives on a farm or something?
A farm? Well, guess what?
They wanted me to start building this farm that the coaches were gonna live in Michigan.
A compound?
A compound, yeah.
Keeley says Jeff and Shalia pressured her to find farmland and move to Michigan. And when she didn't,
they told us, you need to make this move now, or you are completely out of alignment with your guru and bad things are gonna happen.
16 followers now live in northern Michigan.
I fear for the lives of the people in the cult. I think that it's only gonna grow, and there's plenty of horrible things that will happen when Jeff and Shalia have all of those people literally within arm's length.
Coming up.
I've never been so happy in my entire life. I'm such a better person. And I love myself so much. And he's taught me that.
Traverse City, Michigan is known as the cherry capital of the world.
Our story stems from the arrival of the Mount Morency cherry.
But this tight-knit community is now on the map for another reason. It's home base for the controversial spiritual community Twin Flames Universe. Once only online, 16 followers have now moved here to be closer to their leaders, Jeff and Shalia Divine.
Thank you.
In 2024, there was a 4-day spiritual summit in Traverse City with about 100 followers from around the world. Jeff and Shalia have been keeping a low profile since the media frenzy surrounding their community, the avalanche of exposés and docuseries. They have refused all interviews, but now they've hired a crisis management PR team and want their story out. I'm driving into the heart of the Twin Flames universe. Jeff and Shalia have invited me to a Christmas party with their followers, some of whom have uprooted their lives and moved here to be closer to their controversial gurus.
Hi,
Hello.
welcome.
How are you?
Thank you for coming.
Avery, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're looking forward to sharing our side and being able to maybe speak a bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I gotta let you guys go back to your party. I feel like I'm hogging.
I think we gotta. Yeah. we gotta. Okay. So everyone's ready.
Pretty soon for White Elephant. I'm gonna grab some sparkling grape juice here.
Yeah, I'll get some
You want some too?
We'll mosey on over together and then.
This is the Twin Flames Universe Inner Circle, some of the 16 members who have moved here from across the country and around the world. They're all coaches, volunteers with the church. Some also work in this house as a nanny, cook, and cleaner.
Mom, you're getting baby zoned here.
Baby zone. Should we find a toy or something?
They gather in the living room
Maybe we could fit some more people in the
One more person can fit on the couch.
for a Christmas present exchange.
That's hilarious.
It's Apple Boy.
Thank you. A nice inside joke. We'll keep this one. It's Oracle guys.
Lego. Well, we all got each other nice gifts. Worked out good.
This is Gabe, who wrote that post about becoming a man. He's no longer with his twin flame. Adam and Brianne are amongst the longest-serving followers. They agreed to sit down to explain why Twin Flames Universe is not a cult.
People believe you are brainwashed and that you're in a cult.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I guess it feels far-fetched.
I don't function well with being told what to do or anything like that, so I don't think I would do well in a cult or anything like that, so.
It's very hard to interview someone about whether or not they're brainwashed, because if you're brainwashed, you wouldn't know.
I mean,
I guess.
Do brainwashed people know that they're brainwashed? I don't think they do.
no, I don't think that they do. I feel like I would sense that, or there would be an understanding.
Brianne and Adam have been married for 5 years. They deny their union was orchestrated by Jeff and Shalia.
They were not a part of that, so we figured that out on our own, so yeah.
We just started talking on our own and developed a friendship.
But a different story emerges in this text conversation between former follower Angie and Brianne, from right before Brianne's harmonious union was announced to the community. Adam is messaging me, and I'm paranoid because I don't want him to be my TF, twin flame. I don't want to. This is upsetting to me. Brianne shares a screen grab of her telling Adam she's upset and doesn't feel an attraction. Adam texts back, "I'm sorry you're upset. This is what God has presented me with, and I've fully devoted to him. It's been a lot to process today as well." "I don't see it," she texts Angie with a picture of her and Adam. Brianne writes that the harmonious union has been confirmed by her coach, Keeley, and then goes on to describe Adam as lazy and messy, that she's repulsed by him, and that the last thing she wants is to be intimate with him.
You didn't speak to other people and say that you had zero desire for Adam and that you did not want this pairing to go ahead.
Well, I mean, there were, like, me and Adam were moving through upsets in our union, and I probably shared something from, upsets, but it was an upset. It was something that I was healing through, right? It wasn't, it was just an upset. It was something that I healed.
Adam joined Twin Flames Universe as a woman and denies there was any pressure to transition to a man.
So you didn't have any kind of a challenge in accepting this divine masculine concept?
I feel like I had, but this was just an upset with myself in terms of like accepting that I had a little bit of like, is this me? Like, oh, this feels a bit weird, but it was like, right, who you are. You know that there's something, right?
This allegation that people are being pressured, coerced, or led into making a decision about their gender is horrifying.
Yeah. Well, I agree that would be a concern, right? Like if that was the thing, but...
18 members of the Twin Flames universe have transitioned.
When you look at the numbers, do you find that at all unusual?
But I don't feel like it's so many, though.
We don't know how many were questioning their gender before joining the group, and they insist they weren't pressured. It was their choice to transition. Brianne and Adam are both certified Master Ascension coaches, a level above regular coaches, certified by Jeff.
They don't have any expertise. They're not therapists.
Keely Griffin, who left TFU in 2021, says she and other coaches were wholly untrained to handle people's trauma.
These clients are coming in with all sorts of issues, like being molested as children, and then they're told by the coaches to just do the mirror exercise.
Which means you take responsibility for your own abuse.
Exactly, like that's your fault now, which is like just so traumatizing in itself. I was in these sessions listening to people telling me, I'm suicidal, I don't want to be here anymore.
What kind of training do you have to take people into their trauma?
Coaches are consistently having evaluations and things of that nature to make sure that they're just checks and balances.
And who's doing the checks and balances?
Who does the checks and balances?
Well, those are the most experienced coaches, basically.
You guys are the most experienced.
Yeah.
What is the checks and balances?
Well, you got to make sure they're, following, you like to be a coach. Like you can't just go off on your own. Like we're not responsible for people's health, and that's for their doctor to take care of, right?
Critics say students are subjected to potential emotional harm, and that the coaches face financial harm. They have to hand over 50% of their earnings to Jeff and Shalia.
I can understand why Jeff and Shalia like this business model, because they're at the top of the hill in that beautiful house, taking half of the salary of the people who are coaches. I just don't quite understand why you guys are okay with that model.
It's a win-win for both sides, right? I don't see it as I'm losing anything. I feel like my life has changed in so many beautiful ways, and I feel I'm winning just as much as anyone else.
Brianne and Adam both feel that their community has been unfairly portrayed in the media.
We're not victims. Like, we have choice and free will, and I mean, I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy. Yeah.
And you are too?
I am.
Do you have the life that you desire?
I do. I feel like I'm more myself now than ever, basically.
Coming up.
We don't harm people.
You don't know the truth, you're being lied to.
My hate squad, the useless little group of haters who want to pin me as a psychopath.
Former high-ranking follower Keely Griffin is in Jeff's so-called hate squad.
They're criminals. Like, these people are con artists.
Keely believes she has evidence of a crime, and it involves the online church Jeff and Shalia set up. Her computer is filled with files from 2 hard drives, hundreds of hours of recorded meetings and documents. In this video, Jeff clearly outlines his reasons for setting up the Church of Union.
You're basically taxed at a share level, and then you're taxed again at an income level. So
sounds like death to me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
I've got the solution.
Yes, what's that?
We're going to turn part of our company into a religion.
Oh, good.
Just like that, the religion is born.
So a very small company, licensed stuff to the religion, who will pay us all of the money that is earned through it. This way, our shit's completely protected forever and ever. Nothing can ever hurt us. We pay no taxes on that part of the company. And in this way, like, I don't have to pay people. I can just have volunteers. And and no one sues a religion. And also it opens us up to receive donations.
Mm.
Yeah, this is much more marketable for us too.
This is more marketable, I think.
They started out by saying we're not a religion and we don't even like religion. And then somewhere along the lines, when they realized that they could pay less taxes, they thought it would be a good idea for them to become a church.
Twin Flames Universe is a for-profit company. So too is their mind alignment process, Divine Dish, and Divine Gaming. The Church of Union was set up as a nonprofit in 2020. There is no actual church, just a website where sermons are posted on Sundays. Chrissy and Jason Emmerich are the directors of the Church of Union. In fact, Chrissy is in charge of church finances.
There is videotape of Jeff categorically saying the Church of Union is going to be set up so we can avoid paying taxes, right?
It's not true. Like that is not accurate information. Like
these are his words.
Right, but that's not what's happening.
Would you be comfortable opening up your books on the Church of Union to show full transparency and what's coming in and what's going out?
Ultimately, that's not like my decision to make.
Jeff and Shalia refused that request, and so we dug up the publicly available tax filings.
Over a 4-year period, the Church of Union claimed more than $500,000 in expenses. They don't even have a physical church. This is mostly just YouTube sermons.
$39,000 in legal fees, some to pay for defamation lawsuits. $45,000 for PR support, almost $100,000 on IT expenses, and $260,000 for independent contractors and something called contractor programming. Jeff and Shalia refused our requests for more details on just where that $250,000 went. We did discover this credit listing the church as an investor in one of their for-profit companies called Divine Gaming.
You're the financial officer for the Church of Union?
Yes.
So if there were ever to be discovered fraud, you would be the one that would be kind of holding the bag for that?
Yes, I think I would be involved in that, of course, because I'm the one that's doing the finances, and we've talked to specialists and experts to make sure that we're doing everything properly, and we will continue to do that.
We know the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, has gathered information on the Church of Union. They tell us federal privacy laws prohibit them from confirming or denying ongoing investigations. Regardless, the Church of Union has conducted some traditional church-like activities. There was a wedding in Sedona.
You may now seal these vows with true love's kiss.
And another in Traverse City in 2024.
You may now seal these vows with a kiss.
Most weddings, though, are conducted online.
And we are pleased to present the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Hendel.
At least 3 of these followers changed their genders and moved to other countries to live with their so-called twin flame. Those who contemplate getting married or even engaged without the Church of Union face the wrath of Jeff and Shalia.
Don't you dare get married without the church. If you're here absorbing my teaching, don't you dare. Or f*** off. And actually, when you f*** off, that's it. Gone by. You have expended your opportunity. We're very flexible with allowing freedom. But where freedom is abused, it will be taken from you.
And this is not in any way unreasonable, what Jeff and I are saying and what we're asking.
It's excruciatingly generous, as always.
It's generous.
I know what the f*** I'm talking about. And if you don't think that, f*** off. Bye.
Coming up.
I have so much love for Jesus.
And it was so hard for me to leave that all behind and follow my truth.
Twin Flames universe is in full damage control mode.
No, we're not a cult.
It's not physically possible to brainwash someone online.
Followers recently posted these videos to give their side of a story that's been covered without their voices by Netflix, Amazon, Vanity Fair, and Vice.
What we saw in the media was just like a salacious attempt with like cherry picking thousands of videos.
I was guided to explore myself. No one forced me to change my name, change my gender, change my have surgeries.
Obviously, Jeff is not God.
Jeff never said that he was God.
It's an attempt to change the narrative about their community, a PR campaign that now includes me. Chrissy and Jason Emmerich have opened up their home and invited us in.
I have sessions today, a couple sessions today. And I love my life with Jay. I absolutely love it. I love spending time with this man. I never get tired of him. I always want to spend time with him.
Chrissy and Jason have been together for what they say is the best 5 years of their lives.
Are you happy in your life?
Yeah.
And you have everything that was promised to you when you first joined Twin Flames Universe?
I think the only thing that was promised to me was my twin flame, so yeah.
Jason and Chrissy started out living together as a so-called soul family, each believing someone else was their twin flame. And then they got the call.
Jeff was like, well, we would really think you guys should explore that you two are twin flames.
Because you were really freaked out at first. It's like, that's not what you wanted.
Yeah, no. Right, like, I mean, we were on this journey for, what was it, 2 or 3 years thinking that, like, it was someone else, and so there's a lot to process there.
Right.
But did it ever strike you as odd that all of a sudden you two are actually twin flames? Like, it's just a bit hard for an outsider to grasp.
It's not like they're matchmaking people in any way. They're just like, hey, you guys have a connection here. Why don't you explore it and see what's there? Sometimes it resulted in twin flames, sometimes it didn't.
Welcome to Creating in the Kitchen.
Jason, a trained chef, runs Divine Dish, a division of Twin Flames Universe. For $129 a month, followers receive emailed recipes with a side dish of some wild claims.
We're now bringing you Divine Dish, which is actually the solution for world hunger and starvation.
What makes food divine?
It's curated through God.
So Jeff gets the recipes from God.
Yeah.
No, that sounds a little bit weird.
I think
Which part?
Well, the God giving recipes to Jeff.
Well, I think he just uses, like, it's not like, you know, a lightning bolt comes down and he hammers into a tablet. Those days are over, I believe.
It's another intimate way of gaining control. You don't get a choice to decide what kind of food you're putting in your body to nourish you.
Former Twin Flames CEO Keely Griffin says there's pressure for followers to subscribe.
People gain weight really rapidly.
How much weight did you gain?
I gained 80 pounds.
80 pounds, Keely.
Yeah, it's a lot.
No one is pressured, in my opinion.
Well, like, who's responsible for them feeling pressured?
Right.
While Jason runs Divine Dish, Chrissy is at the helm of a controversial Twin Flames Universe business called the Mind Alignment Process, or MAP.
I am Dr. Chrissy Kay, the CEO of Mind Alignment Process Incorporated.
She calls herself doctor because she has a PhD in public safety leadership. Chrissy recently retired as a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. military. MAP claims to heal the core of trauma in just one session.
It's healed hundreds of people of their trauma, some of them PTSD, which is supposedly incurable. But what MAP does is it goes to the root of a, trauma, and it brings peace there. And then with peace brought to that root, there is no longer a need for your disease, and it goes away.
In other words, do the mirror exercise to heal the trauma that's causing disease. The 12-week program costs over $2,000 US.
What is Jeff or Shalia's expertise in developing a mind alignment program?
So I think that I know that Shalia has she took some psychology courses in school, but if you're looking at like therapists or like, they don't have that level of credentialing.
Jeff and Shalia have no expertise in developing a program that claims to heal PTSD and childhood trauma.
Well, they did create a program that does
They
that.
created it, but what credentials or experience do they have that gives them the authority to do that, not a psychology course in college.
Well,
Okay.
it's not an invasive
Well, it's
process.
not an invasive program.
So there's no medical
Right.
degree needed.
There is a disclaimer on the website that the diagnosis and treatment of PTSD requires trained medical professionals, and that MAP practitioners are not trained medical professionals or counselors.
How is it?
Jason and Chrissy say they love their life and want others to experience what they have. When I bring up concerns that this is a cult, Jason asks a question.
What metric are they using to like make it be a cult?
It's a charismatic leader
Okay.
who has control over people, but they may not recognize the control that he has. Control to choose who they love or to choose their gender. That they would dedicate their whole life to that leader and would fund him.
Yeah, if all those things were true, then that would be a cult.
Right,
But that's not
the case.
what's happening here.
To tell me I have a PhD, like I'm an academic, I'm a professional, and to tell me that all of my critical thinking skills no longer apply because you don't agree with my lifestyle is preposterous to me.
Coming up.
Yeah, it was special. It's kind of like the end of an era of my life.
So you're gonna be filming us sitting down? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna film all that.
Jeff and Shalia Devine have a long list of allegations against them. They deny every single one and say they are the victims of cancel culture.
There are people who paint you both as puppet masters, as cult leaders, who have a level of control over people who are very vulnerable.
We are not puppet masters. We are not over-exercising our control to get people to do things that we want them to do. I appreciate this opportunity to be able to share our side of the story, to tell people, like, you may not believe me.
He stops looking at me and makes a direct appeal to camera.
Please hear what we have to say. Please listen to our students. They are not brainwashed. This is not a cult. This is a textbook example of cancel culture.
Explain that for me.
Well, I think she's probably the better person to explain that. She's the one doing all the studying of it all.
Well, there was a reaction towards us, and it got shared all around the internet, and it got picked up, and then it just kept snowballing and snowballing.
You have described yourself as the Master Christ.
It's a spiritual exploration. And, this cancel culture takes everything super out of context to make it look like I'm some megalomaniac who's using these strange titles to claim power, or they say that I think I'm Jesus, and that's just so silly.
But you have said you think you're Jesus.
Where do you have me quoted saying, I think I'm Jesus? That's absurd. I've never said that.
Holy, holy, holy. I figure y'all...
But he has said this.
And I'm not hiding anything. Like, I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
Because God's been telling us, we're the second coming of the Christ.
I'm banging the Christ.
With all the pictures we see depicted of Jesus, he kind of looks that way, and so like, haha, I'm with Jesus. He's not Jesus. I don't believe that at all.
None of my students think I'm Jesus.
Have you told people to change genders?
We encourage people to explore. And I hesitate to answer that question in the way that I'm feeling led to answer that question, which is yes or no. But the reality is...
It kind of is a yes or no, Jeff. Like, it kind of is.
There's context here. The answer to your question is we encourage people to explore their spiritual, their inner world. And it's just an invitation to explore.
Except in the concerns about Twin Flames universe, the biggest, most harmful allegation is that you are dictating people's gender and that they are taking it to extreme lengths, including having surgeries and hormone therapies and changing their gender.
Wow.
And so I think it's a fair question.
Of course.
that's a yes or a no, and there's not really a ton of nuance in it.
Great.
So is it a yes or a no?
We've invited people to explore their gender.
And that invitation to explore gender comes from God?
No, it comes from a human talking to a human.
No, but do you get the message from God that someone is in the wrong gender?
If you could give me a moment to collect myself. Thank you. God is a loving being. God wants the best for us. I am not God. I have never claimed to be God.
So my question was, do you get a message from God about somebody's gender?
It doesn't work that way, no.
There's no channeling from God about what someone's gender should be?
So we as professionals get intuitive hits, you might say. Hey, this might be a good idea. It's explorative, like this heavy frame is just not the reality.
But Jeff, it's a heavy consequence to have kind of a whim that someone might be a different gender.
It's not a whim. I get how this all looks, but it's just not true.
Jeff was saying, like, we could see on the spiritual horizon, and because Jeff and I, like, we live in twin flame union, it's like we see color where someone is colorblind. Like, we can see that.
And first, I hardly believe that the LGBTQ+ community would agree that changing your gender is an entirely harmful thing.
It's absolutely not a harmful thing unless someone else is telling you that you are the wrong gender.
Sure.
And then it's a very harmful thing.
This is not, once again, it's not something that's imposed upon you. You can't impose things upon people on their spiritual journey.
We were their, like, direct guide. They can choose not to do it or not to, you know, like.
If you have an element of control over them or sway over them,
okay,
and they hear you say that, and they know that it will please you.
We don't encourage that kind of power dynamic.
Yeah.
You don't?
No.
No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're my student. You do not school me. You should shut the up and listen.
Your choice has been out of order, so you can make a new choice.
We're very flexible with allowing freedom. But where freedom is abused, it will be taken from you.
You probably have seen me yelling at my students. It's not abuse. In fact, people felt really loved and cared for when I would yell at them in classes. They felt like someone cares about me enough to yell at me, because it's uncomfortable to yell at people. I don't want to do that if I don't have to, but I love these people. And so I put myself on the line in order to be able to help people.
But the people who are on the receiving end of that, who are
Sure.
no longer part of the community,
Okay.
felt bullied and manipulated and exploited by you.
Of course. Is it okay if I grab some water?
Oh,
real
for
quick?
sure, yeah.
Do you know where my Fiji went?
No. You may need to get a new one.
Okay, that's fine.
So Jeff, you talk about yelling at people lets them know that you actually are showing them love.
No, but kind of.
In this topsy-turvy universe, love is expressed in anger, and hate is a consequence of love.
Why are you the lightning rod for so much hate?
I think because we love people.
It doesn't make sense, Jeff. The equation doesn't add up. People who love don't usually receive hate. I just don't.
That's not true. That's not true. Look at history.
Okay, tell me.
Well, I'm not the.
Well, you look at, for instance, like a lot of like historical figures, like Martin Luther King. I don't know, like I grew up Catholic, so I think of Jesus, you know, like he was just loving everybody, even though it was difficult.
When you love people deeply, it touches parts of their hearts and themselves that are hurt. And so that can cause that hurt to come out.
Jeff and Shalia deny they set up the church to evade taxes and deny they are exploiting followers financially.
What are the different businesses that are in the Twin Flames universe umbrella?
I mean, we're here to talk about Twin Flames.
But that's part of it, right?
What are you here to talk about? Like, you know, I'm not trying to be evasive here, but like, you're starting to get into a whole lot more subject.
Did you guys set up the church specifically to avoid taxes?
No.
We're the church's largest donor. It's designed to support the spiritual community and the spiritual teaching.
Yeah.
So there was no videotape discussion about how to avoid paying taxes and setting up a church?
In business, it's very normal to minimize your tax burden. Why would you pay more taxes than you are supposed to? We've always ensured we pay our fair share of taxes. You can't avoid the tax person. There's no way around that.
There are PR fees in your church filings.
Okay.
Well, how does that get explained?
I mean, our whole community came together to pay that. Like we're all paying to support.
Is impacted by what happened. It didn't just happen to Jeff and I. It happened to everyone that's in our community.
But why would that come out of the church?
It comes out of the whole community of which we are a part and of which we contribute to the largest amount.
What are you guys doing to make money? Like, you're making money off the coaches because they're giving you 50% of their salary.
What you're saying is, what do we do to make money?
Exactly.
You're asking me, really, what do I do to provide value for my community?
No, what do you do to make money?
Well, I provide value for my community.
But just in terms of bringing money in to support your lifestyle, where does that money come from?
Well, the money is, okay, so it's fine, it's fair. Might not look like I have a particular, job like, making the food. Actually, one of my jobs is making the food. And I do design the menus for Divine Dish. It's a creative level things. It's entrepreneurial endeavor. If there's some sort of perception that we don't do anything, we're just profiting all, it's absolutely upside down. We work incredibly hard. And,
Twice in the interview, Jeff, out of the blue, starts crying over his love for Jesus.
I grew up Catholic, and I left the religion in the church because of their stance on gay marriage. I felt that if two people loved each other, they should, very passionate about this. They should be allowed to get married. And it was so painful to leave my church. I have so much love for Jesus. And it was so hard for me to leave that all behind and follow my truth. But it was the right thing to do.
Jeff and Shalia say their logic and intuition have led them to believe their toddler Grace will only have one lover, God.
We believe she's more like a monastic soul. Someone whose life path is dedicated to God as their love or lover alone. But I'm still going to teach her about, sex and sexuality.
This is just an idea that we have come to, and we're seeing where it goes.
They have abandoned altogether another idea, that concept of golden children, which former followers believe is an attempt to breed a larger community.
It was a passing idea, just a thought, just playing around with an idea,
It's kind of strange, kind of weird.
Yeah.
Seemed maybe cool.
Seemed like a cool idea.
Explored it for a short time and let it go.
And then it wasn't like a big deal or anything.
Do you think that it's possible that you will one day see inviting people to explore the divine masculinity as a silly idea that you should move away from?
Yeah.
Part of your...
Yeah, any of it. There's no sacred cows here. Like, even the twin flame concept, it's okay if it's misproven.
Followers have moved countries, married strangers, changed genders, based on teachings that no longer seem set in stone.
You guys are on a journey that people are following very closely because they believe in you.
Yeah.
And you're experimenting with things that...
They know that we're experimenting.
They know we're experimenting. Trust me, people have a mind of their own. in our spiritual community,
Very
and
much so.
they don't always listen to us, and like, that's okay. I don't really care. It's your life.
Is this all going to come crashing down?
No.
No, I think if anything, we're only going to continue to thrive.
Why are you getting all misty-eyed?
I'm thinking about Jesus. You know, my love for Jesus. Yeah, so just thinking about that.
How is your relationship?
It's really good.
So good.
Yeah, we're very happy. We're very in love. So we'll start to cry. Yeah. It's very it's very sacred to us. It's like our altar. And yeah, I love Jeff with my whole heart, and I'll be with him forever. I've never been so happy in my entire life. I'm such a better person, and I love myself so much, and he's taught me that.
But the business doesn't continue without that love for each other, right? It's all built on your twin flame union.
Yeah, our whole life is. And that's built on our relationship with God.
Yeah.
So I would rather not be in a world without God. If God isn't real, then take me away. I don't want any part of that. I believe God is real, and I built everything on him.
Coming up.
I'm not going to stop, and I hope that Jeff and Shalia know that.
We happen to be at the Twin Flames Universe headquarters as a tow truck pulls up. The yellow Corvette, a symbol of Jeff's success in so many videos, is hoisted up and taken away.
I got that for my 30th birthday from Shalia.
Jeff says he doesn't really use it anymore and has traded it in for a Silverado pickup.
Yeah, it was special. It's kind of like the, end of an era of my life.
Online, Jeff has called some of his former followers his hate squad. Now he says he feels compassion for them.
These former students left before they got the healing.
So they just got out too soon?
Well, they had an upset that they didn't finish healing.
They didn't finish healing an upset.
They may claim Keely hasn't finished healing an upset, but she has found what drew her into the community in the first place: love.
I have found what a real healthy, happy relationship feels and looks like, and it's nothing like the twin flame relationship that I was in. Yeah.
You found love without it being channeled by anybody from God?
I found love without it being channeled, yes. I found love without anyone telling me who it was, or it was on my own, and I'm very happy.
Victoria, too, has love in her life, away from the Twin Flames universe.
My life is really good. Everything that I wanted in a relationship is what I found, and I wouldn't have had that had I stayed in that group.
We know that the people in the Twin Flames universe will be watching this. What sort of a message would you want them to hear from you?
There is life to be had outside of Twin Flames universe. It isn't hell, it isn't insanity. It's a good life.
I would love for them to feel like they have the freedom to choose what they actually want to do with their lives and their bodies and their minds.
They're not victims, and they're not brainwashed. They're very smart people, and they can choose to be with Twin Flames universe or not be with Twin Flames universe.
This is online. You can just close your browser and we can't do anything.
I'm not gonna stop until something is done to hold Jeff and Shalia accountable, and I hope that Jeff and Shalia know that.